Welcome back to the RealFemSapien YouTube channel, where I give cultural commentary. And today on the chopping block we have Marco Rubio as well as Republicans, because there are a lot of Republican L's that are taken day after day after day, and they continue to use the same tactics to no avail. So if you like this content, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell. I wanted to give this take because I don't think people typically look at things in a bipartisan fashion, but I found two news sources about his supposed Unborn Child Support Act. His plan is to give pregnant and expecting mothers child support. And this is coming from a Republican. You would expect this possibly from a Democrat, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense given the current social programs that we have. But this is what I mean when I talk to Democrats and I say, hey, you know what? Republicans are really not that different than you guys. This is one of those key examples. Republicans or Democrats going the speed limit. I am unregistered with either party. I am a reluctant Republican. I don't want to vote for these guys. I really don't want to. However, as the situation would dictate, sometimes I have to, okay? So let's jump in to this very, very necessary gynocentric child support bill. All right, first stop, we have an MSNBC article. This is considered a left-wing article that is covering Marco Rubio, and it starts off already with very angry tactics. Why Marco Rubio's child support bill is a post-Roe gimmick. And I like to highlight these things because I think at the end of the day, what most of us are complaining about on the left and the right is actually gynocentrism if you get to the nitty-gritty of it. For those of you that are new here, gynocentrism basically is a social order where women are elevated in status over men. And I believe that we are living in a gynocentric social order. You can look at the policies that we pass, you can look at Hollywood, you can look at pretty much any form of media or social activity that seeks to further liberate women, when I think that we already are very liberated. In fact, I think that we are being given way too much. And this child support bill doesn't necessarily make sense because if you get pregnant and you're low income, you already have access to WIC. And your baby daddy is already going to have to pay child support after birth. We already have the social safety nets in place to handle these situations. But again, this is a gynocentric social order, and this stuff also happens on the right. Shout out to Marco Rubio. Continuing, the senator's proposal is an effort to rinse the stench off the GOP after its members celebrated the end of federal termination of pregnancy rights. A new bill proposed by Senator Marco Rubio, Republican from Florida, would entitle a pregnant person to child support payments before giving birth. A pregnant person? You mean a woman? You mean a woman? I don't know. This is not a good way to start off an article from the opposition. Like, just so you guys know, most Democrats are not really for this very weird gender fluid society, just so you guys are aware. The move is a haphazard response by conservatives who've relished the Supreme Court's decision to rescind federal termination of pregnancy rights, but have faced criticism for their refusal to back social welfare policies that help pregnant people. False. We will do anything to protect women. We will also do anything to protect children, but I think honestly only because it makes women feel good. And this move is little more than a gimmick. The so-called Unborn Child Support Act would allow a person to collect prenatal child support beginning the month of conception. And the payments could be retroactive, meaning a person could collect child support back pay if paternity wasn't established until after birth. Again, this is already a thing, except not during pregnancy. If your child's father wants to deny paternity, you get a court-ordered paternity test, it's proven, they can make him retroactively pay. This is already a thing, so he's trying to get these women covered from month 1 to month 9. Keep in mind, most pregnancies do end in miscarriage, 70 to 75% if you look at life begins at conception. So, like, what's the plan when the woman miscarries? Is the man gonna get a refund? Is he gonna get that money back? Or, I mean, the logic is not with these people for me. It is not. Moving on. Some states, such as Utah and Wisconsin, already have similar laws on the books. On its face, Rubio's bill may sound like a good thing. The Florida Republican, for his part, has said the bill is about doing everything we can to support American mothers and their children. This proposal falls far short of that claim. What about the fathers? This is why Republicans are a dying breed. Look at it and look at it close. This is why Republicans are a dying breed. By no means am I suggesting child support payments are an affront to freedom, but they're not the fix Rubio and his bill's co-sponsors claim them to be. And this isn't the time to give conservatives like them cover after backing an indisputably deadly decision to overturn federal termination of pregnancy rights. Again, that was the deadly decision, not terminating the pregnancy, but like overturning Roe v. Wade. That's deadly. All right. For example, we have years of evidence to indicate child support payments can be both insufficient and difficult to collect, largely because many of the people required to pay them lack the necessary income. And due to social marginalization, others may lack the education needed to obtain that income. Rubio's bill might create more punitive measures for people who don't pay child support, but it does nothing to ensure that the people who'd be paying it actually have the money to do so. Okay, so now that a Republican is proposing this, all of a sudden the Democrats are like, wait a minute, what if fathers can't pay? I've never seen that point brought up by a Democrat before. So it's interesting when they start to pick and choose when they want to use logic and when they, you know what? Oh, actually, maybe we should consider that we are subjecting men to indentured servitude. Look at that. Look at that. Whatever. Moving on. The bill is part of a broader framework Rubio has proposed as a makeshift response to pregnant people's loss of bodily autonomy after Roe was overturned, and the other recommendations are just as dubious. For example, Rubio proposed a New Parents Act, which would force parents to borrow from their Social Security benefits in order to receive up to 3 months of paid family leave per child. All right. So if you look in this article where it says the response to pregnant people's loss of bodily autonomy after Roe was overturned. I'm going to let you guys know that women consent to sex 99% of the time. That 1%, we're going to attribute that to sociopaths and criminals who take things from women that do not belong to them, that take consent that wasn't given. That is not most of the time. Okay, we have over 30 plus forms of birth control on the market. You can learn how to track your cycle. You can learn to figure out when you're ovulating. There's no such thing as a, okay, maybe there is such thing as an accidental pregnancy. I've heard a story or two that I buy. 1 or 2. But the rest of y'all out here are out there having unprotected belly button to belly button time, thinking that you'll get away with it, and maybe you're out there doing some substances, so you're not really thinking fully of the consequences of your actions. And that's for young men, and that's for women as well. A lot of the women that I know that are surprised that they got pregnant is because they got pregnant when they were wasted. I would be surprised too. Believe it or not, your body is still going to try to make you have a child, whether you want it to or not, because we are humans. We are humans. We're designed to allow the species to thrive. So women have had, and will continue to have, autonomy when it comes to reproduction. In fact, we have unilateral control of reproduction. We control 100% of who is born in the West. So not really sure why people think women lost autonomy, or pregnant people lost autonomy when Roe v. Wade was overturned. Does anybody talk about the autonomy of the baby like that? That's what gets me. That's what gets me. Moving on, this article is much too long to go through it. This is the left in their interpretation of Marco Rubio. I am getting ready to show you guys the hypocrisy of the right. I'm telling you, almost none of these people deserve your votes. Republicans or Democrats going the speed limit. If you ever notice, Republicans are 10 years behind Democrats. Like, what does conservative even mean anymore? You guys think about this? Like, really think about it. For everybody that thinks that Fox News is racist and just very hateful, I would like for you guys to be aware that they ran a trans kid segment on Fox News. Like, Fox News is lost. It's dead. It's done. It's been dead and done for a long time. All right, let's go look at The Hill article covering Marco Rubio and his really dumb, stupid, impractical bill. All right, guys, are you ready for the hypocrisy? Because it is here. Because now, what I suspect the right is going to do with Marco Rubio is to say that this is some amazing and pro-life activism. Keep in mind, neither the left nor the right is bringing up that maybe we should bring fathers back in the home. Nobody's offering a practical solution. The left basically is saying that he's trying to appease people after Roe v. Wade, because remember, fifis, feels before reals, right? We have to care about how their policies make us feel, not how they really are. And then over here on the right, it's like, oh my goodness, this man is saving the women and the babies. Like, no. Like, we have to talk about dads. That part's important. It's not going away anytime soon. We still need sperm to meet the egg to make the baby. All right, let's check out this article. Rubio proposes child support regulations beginning at conception. Which, when would a woman even find out when she was pregnant? I don't know. Maybe 6 weeks in, if you're paying attention. Senators Marco Rubio and Kevin Cramer, a Republican from North Dakota, introduced a bill Wednesday that would allow mothers to collect child support beginning at conception. Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. The bicameral bill would amend the Social Security Act to ensure that child support for unborn children is collected and distributed under the Child Support Enforcement Program. Under the bill, mothers would be able to request child support from the month of conception onward, but would not be required to do so. Oh, how gracious! Wow! Mothers would also be able to choose whether to collect child support payments retroactively through the month of conception, including if paternity is only established after the birth of the child. Keep in mind, if you are married or in a long-term committed relationship, odds are that if the man loves you, he's gonna love the baby. So you don't actually have to do all this. This is a if you done goofed kind of scenario situation. So, but when are we gonna educate women on mate selection? Probably never. Probably never. Caring for the well-being of our children begins long before a baby is born. It begins at the first moment of life, conception, and fathers have obligations, financial and otherwise, during pregnancy, Kramer said of the bill. I'm gonna tell you guys something that Rollo says when it comes to expecting men to have responsibility without authority. That would be slavery. If you're gonna give men responsibility, you also need to give them authority in the home. Shocking, I know, because otherwise you just have a little do-boy running around. 8 Republican senators are co-sponsoring the bill, including Senators Steve Daines, Republican Montana, Jim Inhofe, Republican Oklahoma, Cindy Hyde-Smith, Republican Mississippi, Marshall Blackburn, Republican Tennessee, Rick Scott, Republican Florida, Roger Marshall, Republican Kansas. How dare you, sir? How dare you? James Lankford, Republican Oklahoma, and Roger Wicker, Republican Mississippi. Like, if conservative men can't see that they're being taken for a ride by this, I don't know what to tell you. Both sides cater to women probably in ways that don't make practical sense. Remember, most pregnancies result in a miscarriage. So what's going to happen? Is the guy going to get a refund? How are you going to get that woman to refund the guy? I mean, sincerely, but you don't have to worry about this nonsense if you get married within the framework of a marriage. Shocking, I know, shocking. I hope good legislation, they're calling it good legislation, like the Unborn Child Support Act gets more support now that the Dobbs decision encourages us to look more seriously at supporting mothers and their unborn children. I'm telling y'all, we already have support. Like, everything that they do just continues to... If I was truly a woman and I didn't care about the social implications of what would happen to my child psychologically, I would just get pregnant because I knew I would be taken care of. And I wouldn't care because I could get access to the man's money. Truly, at this point, the only reason to stay a parent for a mother in a two-parent relationship is because most of us are going to live to be 90, so to make these short-term decisions now doesn't really make sense because at some point you're going to be old and wrinkly and you're going to wish you had a man on your side, and because you want your child to develop fully and emotionally well-rounded. That's really the only reasons. These are very good reasons that, yes, like you should be in a two-parent household. However, I'm just saying, if I just didn't care and just wanted the funds, they make it easy. They make it easy. This is one of multiple bills proposed by Republicans aiming to support mothers in the wake of the Supreme Court's Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization ruling, which overturned Roe v. Wade. The framework includes proposals Rubio on Thursday introduced another bill, the Standing with Moms Act, pro-family framework. He's not talking about dads, so I don't know what he means by pro-family. Pro-family framework he rolled out after the Dobbs decision. The framework includes proposals to expand the child tax credit, provide additional funding to the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, that's WIC, and make the adoption tax credit fully refundable, among others. Republicans are also responding to criticism from both the public and their Democratic colleagues, accusing them of a lack of care for mothers and children after they have been born. Again, I can debunk these points very separately without advocating for an absolutely ridiculous bill. Very plainly stated, Christians adopt secular folks. You can go look this up. So I'm not buying it. Is this man running for something? He's from Florida. I don't do Florida politics. In the comment section down below, let me know why Rubio's doing this. Let me know. I'm curious. Not only do they want to force women to have children if they are pregnant, nobody forced her to lay down, but I digress. But when they do have them, they don't want to provide any support for them. Senator Mazie Hirono, a Democrat from Hawaii, told the Washington Post earlier this year. Washington and Lee University law professor Carlos Chapman posted a viral tweet in May reading, "If a fetus is a person at 6 weeks pregnant, is that when the child support starts? ? Just figuring if we're going here, we should go all in." So my question is, what's next? Are we gonna get life insurance for the unborn? Is that the next move? Young women, if you are watching, understand you don't have to worry about this nonsense if you get pregnant within the context of a healthy marriage or a healthy long-term partnership. You don't have to worry about any of this. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And I am not in any way saying that I don't want to support mothers that way they choose life. My argument is that I think that there are already so many social safety nets to facilitate a woman choosing life to begin with. I understand other people might not believe this, but to me, the writing is on the wall. You have SNAP, you have WIC if you get pregnant, you have Medicaid for the child. Sometimes you don't get it for the mom, but there's 1,000,001 ways. There's child support. You can get it done, in my opinion, already. And if we want to be pro-life, then we need to go and we need to start funding extensively these crisis pregnancy centers that tell women what their options are besides terminating a pregnancy. I'm not saying that women don't deserve support. I'm saying that I very much believe that they already have it, and I think that this bill is overkill. I think it's Republicans pandering to women because women decide elections in the US. I think that there's two very contrasting views because the left thinks that this is appeasing an audience because of Roe v. Wade, and then the other side thinks that this is this amazing pro-life bill, but nobody's talking about fathers. So I find all this to be absolute nonsense. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I will see you guys later. Bye.